Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Granzotto from Tri Health Wellness Center, and this is our first weight loss challenge. We're focusing on the InBody 570, and I have some test subjects that we're going to do their measurements today, and I'll give them a regime to follow for the next 30 days, and then we'll repeat the tests in a month and see how things have progressed. How the test works is it actually sends a very unnoticeable current through the body, through your foot, up through the upper body, through your hands, through back into the machine, and down again. And it's measuring resistance. And resistance is then computed as a means to identify where body fat and lean muscle is detected in the body. And then it's going to give us an entire breakdown on your skeletal muscle, body fat, and water levels. So because, we can, I don't know if you can see here, but Nathan, he had done this test about, what was it?
2 weeks ago?
About 2 weeks ago. And he's already lost 3 pounds. That was the main change. There's not much change in his body composition overall. Maybe it dropped a little bit of water weight. And here it's focusing on perhaps he has to drop a significant amount of body fat, whereas his lean muscle is sufficient, it's fine. His metabolic rate is at 1,800 calories, which is actually a higher number is better, which relates to how much his body can burn without even doing anything. So any additional physical activity, his body's going to be burning calories at a higher rate. So these are individuals that tend to build muscle relatively quickly. They also have a tendency to gain fat relatively quickly. So I think if we just do a little bit more of a dietary restriction in terms of saturated fats, focus on a little bit more on lean protein and up the healthy greens. Nathan should notice a pretty significant and rapid drop in his overall body fat, but still maintain his muscle. His overall weight might not drastically drop, but we're looking for a change in his body composition, so more muscle and less body fat. Visceral fat, this is a measure of how much adipose or fat is actually around his organs as opposed to distributed throughout the body. 10 is sort of the upper limit where you want to be. You want to be under that. Anything above 10, you have a significant fat accumulation leading to fatty liver disease and whatnot, higher cholesterol levels, risk of diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. So I think that with an appropriate diet, those numbers will come down as well. Recording here. Hi everyone. This is the follow-up day of our weight loss challenge. I have Nathan and Jesse and their companions here. Their companions will be off camera. But the boys, they are being good sports and letting me utilize their numbers and their likeness. So we'll start with Nathan. Nathan actually has 3 readings. He had done one way back in, I guess, early June. But then we officially started the challenge June 27th. And so at that time, your weight was 200 pounds and 4.4. 200.4. Today, your weight is 181.6. So that is about 18, almost 19 pounds lost in about 33 days. Okay, so you had all these other changes as well. You've lost 3 inches on your waist. You lost about 1.5 inches off your hips. Your metabolism is about the same. You lost 2 levels of visceral fat, which was really good because you want to be under 10. When I'm doing the video, I'll throw an image of your profile on here. And your percentage body fat dropped from 27.2 to 23.3. So do you have any feedback, anything how you're feeling, how the diet was for you?
I definitely have more energy. I found that I was waking up before my alarm in the morning, where before I was not having a hard time getting up. It was just very slow in the mornings, very sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like more energy. Also, not that I've lost my appetite, but I'm not as hungry as I was before. I feel like before, every couple hours I was finding myself hungry, where now I'd be satisfied eating less and satisfied for longer before the next meal.
Okay. And just anyone who's watching this that's not familiar with the type of diet,
do you want to just, in your opinion, how would you describe how you were eating?
I still was satisfied when I was eating, mostly all stuff prepared at home, just natural foods and whatever list was on the servings you gave us.
So I gave you the Metagenics first line therapy.
Yes.
I think you guys are at 1,800 calories.
15.
Sorry, 1,500 calories. Because we did that for weight loss purposes.
Yes.
So we went a little bit lower than your metabolic rate,
Yeah.
just to kind of challenge your system.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's good. You did amazing. So here's Jesse. Jesse, your initial reading was 159.5, and today you dropped 9 pounds, which is huge as well. That's a big drop. Your visceral fat dropped from 5 to 4. You already have like a more slim frame. Your metabolic rate is the same. You're essentially at your ideal weight for your height. So your BMI is it's at just under 23. So 22 is like where you would perfectly be. But I mean, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't get you to do anything else. How did you feel on the diet?
I felt like I was eating better a little bit,
Like healthier.
eating healthier. Portion sizes were good. At first, when you look at the sheet, it's a bit intimidating by the numbers, but once you realize and you get into it, it's actually quite filling still. You're not ever starving in a sense.
So when you say intimidating, is it because your portions were higher before, or you weren't controlling your portions?
I wasn't controlling my portions before.
So then when you see, I'm allowed half a cup of this or that, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, am I going to starve on this? And then you eat, and you find, did you find that it was satisfying right away, or did you have to kind of take a couple of days to kind of get used to it?
Well, first off, I used to, for breakfast, always have cereal. I needed to change it up, so that was a bit more challenging, but I managed to do that. And then also before this, I wasn't ever really having lunch.
Okay.
So now having lunch, it kind of balanced out how full I was and if I was getting enough nutrients and whatnot.
Do you feel like you were eating more or less or the same compared to the diet, like previous to the diet?
I feel like I was eating less, but in a good way. I wasn't stuffing myself. I was eating until I was, satisfied. I wasn't going that extra step, maybe an extra portion of this and an extra portion of that.
Right. Okay. And during this time, for both of you, were you doing any kind of exercise, or just part of like your like?
Well,
our jobs are very active.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was not too much more.
You didn't do any added.
Maybe like a walk after dinner just to help digestion, but nothing crazy.
Okay. So there was no exercise in this part. So and just to also conclude, Jesse, you lost 3 inches on your waist and about half an inch on your hips, which is great. Do you find that your clothing fits looser, comfortable?
Yes.
Do you notice any changes in like your stomach, like bloating or feeling heavy?
Yeah, I feel a lot slimmer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any changes in digestion, going to the washroom?
Better.
You notice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems before.
So it didn't interrupt your routines.
No.
Okay. Was there any other feedback or any other concerns, any other thoughts about the diet?
Not really. The only thing is you definitely have to kind of plan your when you're gonna have what servings for what meals, because sometimes you get too carried away with only like 1 or 2 servings of grains. You have a piece of toast in the morning, you're done, and then sometimes it's kind of challenging to find out what you're gonna have for dinner. Kind of can get repetitive.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to kind of plan ahead, which first was kind of like you were saying, intimidating. Like you don't feel like you don't have enough to eat, but once you kind of get used to it and plan it out, you get more creative and whatnot, and in no time it was just like second nature.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
And your companions are off camera, but and I can talk to them individually about their results. But I thank you all for being such good sports. I actually got these little certificates prepared. That's for Jesse, Nathan, and you guys. That's for you. Turn around.
Awesome.
You like that?
That's
One of you read it.
Certification. You read it.
Certificate of Achievement. This certifies is present to Jesse Simons. Congratulations. You have successfully completed the Tri Health Wellness Center Healthy Eating Challenge, Level 1. You are now healthy. You're welcome.
Can't wait for level 2.
Well, it's funny that you said you can't wait for level 2 because, I mean, I know it's a long weekend and I know it was a long month,
Yes.
but that maybe was just the beginning.
Okay.
So I'm going to pass this over to you. So Jesse read that one. You, Nathan, will read this one. Sorry.
Level 2 challenge. Congratulations on completing level 1. That was just the beginning. You can decide to stop right now and go back to your old ways, or you can proceed to level 2. If you do not proceed to level 2 now, you may have to repeat level 1 in the future. Okay, this is where you decide. Level 2, exercise.
Well, you have to pause. There's a big black line.
Stop. Level 2, diet and exercise. Level 1 consisted of a strict dietary regimen, and now you have seen you successfully completed it. Level 2 evolves from just a dietary program to a lifestyle change. It includes 3 days a week of moderate intensive exercise, slightly more calories per day for food, partial intermittent fasting, stricter eating schedule, and optional supplements for metabolic metabolism. Interesting.
So you have to think about it.
How long do I have to think about it? I accept.
Yeah?
I accept.
Okay.
I have one. I need cheat days.
Yeah, we'll work that in.
We'll work that in.
So, what I want to do, if you guys are interested, I mean, we won't start today.
Yeah.
We'll give you guys a couple of days just to kind of decompress.
Yes.
And then I was thinking maybe next Tuesday,
Yep.
after the statutory holiday, that I'll send you guys the second plan.
Yep.
Like I said, the higher calorie count, but with a exercise component, and maybe a little bit tighter eating schedule, so you're not eating after a certain time, and then we'll see how in maybe 4 to 6 weeks, how things have even progressed more. So
I look forward to it.
So you accept?
I accept.
Jesse?
Think about it.
No, you have to accept now. Jesse, accept.
Accepted.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna compile this, and there'll be a part 2. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you people. Thank you ladies.